Well, welcome to Barter 202. We built this class to show some of the benefits that you can have from using Barter. It's kind of you've got a little bit of a taste for it, but you haven't quite gotten that aha moment yet. And everybody gets it eventually, so don't worry if you're not getting it right away. Again, as a global leader in the industry, I understand it differently. I have people that have been in the industry for 30 or 40 years that come to me and say, wow, we don't get it like you do. And it is that simple. Everything is currency. So once you start accepting that in your world and your existence, then your life is going to change. And again, don't worry if you're not getting it right away. It's fine. But in this one, we're going to show you some examples of some things that you could do with Barter that you probably need to do, but you're not doing right now. So, for instance, we had a client that she needed somebody to iron for her. And I just recently had a client that joined. It's not her main business, but I mention this to everybody because I'm always looking for what my clients need. And she says, oh my gosh, I love to iron. So now she's getting paid to do something that she loves, and she's helping somebody out that doesn't have the time to do it. If you need a website, if you need social media or advertising, and if you're not using Barter dollars for advertising, you are missing out. We try to teach people, we want you to be proactive in your health and your business. We don't want you to build your waistline by going to the restaurants. Everybody can go to the restaurants on trade. Who wants to do that? I mean, isn't it more important that you go to the gym? Isn't it more important that you get the massage and the chiropractic? Isn't it more important that you do the vision and the dental, or you have somebody doing your social media because you don't have time to do it? Instant Barter, we're really excited about this. This is quite an amazing thing from our social media people. We're not quite 3 years old yet, and if you Google Barter, we actually come up second behind Wikipedia and before Craigslist. And that's pretty impressive because Craigslist actually pays for that placement, and we're not. We're using social media for that. So we've paying people to help us with some of our Facebook and our other social media and things of that sort. It's quite an amazing story. They're actually going to write an article about it soon. So, most of the things that we have done and all of the awards and stuff that the company has won is basically because we're being seen. And we're being seen because of the social media. And that's important in your business, We're not quite 3 years old yet, and we're already in 9 countries with over $300 million worth of products and services. We have an advertising budget of over $20,000 a month. We use trade dollars for that, of course. Very proactive in my personal health. I have a new gym that I'm going to, doing Pilates and yoga and stuff like that. I have massage therapists. As a matter of fact, I get a massage on Tuesday. I'm so excited. I have people that cook for me. I have people that clean for me. I have people that I need somebody to help me take out my garbage, because that's one of the most difficult things that I do personally. But I have people that help me maintain my computer. I have people that help me organize my office. I have an attorney that's helping me with the trademark and the copyright on the game. He's finished those, and now he's setting up a trust for the company so that it lives on. These are important things for you to use in your business. Whether it's that you need a better website. I'm personally, I've been an entrepreneur most of my life, and it was not recent, it was about a year ago. About a year ago, I was trying to come up with what's called a one sheet. Since I've become a speaker, you need a one sheet, and a one sheet is literally that. It is a one sheet of paper with your picture, your bio, what you speak about. How hard is that? Okay. After an hour and a half of me struggling, trying to do this stupid one sheet, I went, okay, that's an hour and a half that I was not productive in my company. I'm hiring somebody else to do it. So I went and found somebody that's what they like to do. It took them like an hour, and they got it to me, and now we're using that, So I don't write press releases for the company. I have people that do that. I have all these books that everybody wants to write about me, and I'm like, I'm not writing a book. I don't have time to write a book. I have ghostwriters. They interview me by the phone. They transcribe it, they edit it, they start writing the books. It's that simple. And you can, one of the other really cool things that you can do is, I know I've talked about the heyday of business when in the 70s and 80s everything was bonus and people don't realize it was all barter. But what if you started treating the people around you like that, like it was the 70s and 80s and you had all that liquid currency? What if you started to become, I like to call it, that guy? So, like for instance, the real estate agent. he's putting together a deal for this client, and they're really, really stressed. And they might need a night out on the town. He can hire a limo to drive them around. He can take them to have a hot air balloon, private, a thing. He can give them couples massage or private massage. And do you know what that does for your business? Because we've gotten away from doing that. I've always done this in my companies, but if we do that, then we become that guy, because that guy is who we all want to be. Because now when somebody says, oh, I'm thinking about buying a house and blah, blah, blah. Now Mary, she's like, oh my gosh, you've got to talk to my guy because this is what he did. And that's what you want. You want that kind of excitement and word of mouth advertising in your business. If you're, he could give flowers, or you could give flowers to somebody. We have these beautiful, amazing forever flowers that never die. They're made out of ceramic. They're quite incredible. And you could give those. And that not only markets her, because people will see her stuff, but that also lets people know that you cared. For instance, I use the example of the web designer that gives the bouquet of flowers on the anniversary of when he launched your website. You've become that guy. And that's what we all want to be. So that's another really cool thing. You can treat your family differently than you are, or because you don't have the currency to do it. You can do those little things like taking them on vacations, taking them to, I've got one lady, she just got a hold of me that her son needs to go on a school vacation, and we're actually teaching them to use a cash conversion to get some of the paper currency that he needs. He's buying things with, that's another class, but he's buying things with trade dollars, that's the next class, buying things with trade dollars that he can turn around and sell for cash, and then he has the paper currency to go on this trip. So there's a lot of benefits that you can learn about using barter in your life. It's a very powerful tool. You take a trade client, for instance, this is one of the things my speakers do. They take trade clients for their empty seats. So they get more people in there. They start telling their friends about, I went to this amazing speaker, and now the next time that speaker's in town, they bring their friends. And even if, or most of us don't want to go anywhere alone, so we bring our friends and we paid in trade, but they're paying in cash. So it increases the people that they have in the seats, and empty seats, whether it's a hotel, a restaurant, a sporting event, a speaking event, those are excess expiring inventory. Let me explain that a little bit better. Excess expiring inventory is simply that. It is something that if it's not used, that revenue from that is gone forever. So an empty hotel room, a restaurant that has empty seats. Actually, that is considered the most expensive thing in a restaurant and a hotel. It is more than 80% of their profit loss is those empty seats and that type of stuff. That's the excess expiring inventory. Same thing with speakers and stuff. Do you want to go to a speaker that has like 2 people in the chairs, or do you want to go to a speaker that's like standing room only with people that are trying to get in there? Which one are you going to see has more value? Whether they have more value or not, it's a perception. So that's another thing that we teach you how to find that in your company. You have it, whether it's time lost, a printing company that they have the same overhead regardless of whether they're running the machines or not. They still have to keep the doors open. They still have the same maintenance and upkeep. They still have the same advertising budget. They still have the same employee costs and stuff like that. But if the press isn't running, the company's not making any money. So they take trade dollars for that downtime. That's their excess expiring inventory. So every business has it. You have future income that we can show you how to use and build your business. You have excess income or excess stuff that you need to get rid of, whether it's a product or a service, and then you can use that as a marketing tool. Like the speaker that I talk about that had people coming from Canada and Guam to come to his LA event. Whether it's downtime that you have or whatever it is, or if you've been in business for any length of time, you have a closet of stuff somewhere. It's called a storage closet. And I can find that stuff in your business, whether it's, you know, I went to our mechanic. This is a cool story, but I went to our mechanic and I was there and the guy says, I know what you do. And I said, you do, huh? And he says, yeah. He says, I don't have a red paper clip. I've only got a silver one. And if you don't know the story of the red paper clip, it's an amazing version of trade. He doesn't know how to trade like we do, but he's done a lot of direct barter. And that's, honestly, we've modeled, my nonprofit's name is the Red Paperclip Center. It's not open yet, but that's what we took the name for. But anyway, so he goes, I said, well, we can't get as far with a silver one as a red one, but we can see what we can do. And he goes, no, seriously, I live very frugally, I reuse everything, and I don't have any excess. And I said, that's awesome, that's really what you want to do. Because you don't want to be paying a storage unit for keeping your stuff that's costing you money, and it's stuff that you're not using, but it's stuff that somebody else somewhere needs desperately. Like my dad always says, grass is a weed if it's in the wrong spot, and that's the way we like to live our lives. So I said, well, you know, that's fine. I said, you'll probably think of something that you didn't think about. So about an hour later, he comes up to me and he goes, I think I found something. And I said, what is that? He says, come with me. And he's all excited. And he takes me over to this other room and he unzips this huge storage thing. It's in this plastic zip thing, an expensive cover. And I'm looking at this 6 foot tall, 4 foot wide, I don't know, 3 feet deep, Mac box toolbox. And I said, what's that worth? He goes, $12,000. And I said, what do you want? Because it's always about what you want. It's not what you're trading, it's what you want or what you need. So that's one of the major things that Instant Barter is different. We don't care what you trade, we care that you trade. I know you've heard me say that a billion times. But it's always about what you need, not what you're trading. Sometimes it's harder to find a market for some of the things that you might think are the things that you can trade. But we're going to find other things that you have that you don't even realize, whether it's excess clothes, whether it's, and we can teach you how to take like those clothes, you sell them to a nonprofit with trade dollars, and you still get the benefit of writing it off on your taxes. And we take those clothes to people that have had a life-altering event. The storms from Sandy, and those people are still trying to recover. Oklahoma, closer to home, the Prescott fires. When you've had a life-altering event, you need stuff. And if you've never had that, then this won't make sense to you. But most people have had at least some kind of a life-altering event. I've had several. But for the first 3 to 5 days, you're thinking shelter, food, and water. Then usually something clicks in your head. It's usually triggered by your kids. Your kids are sleeping on the floor in the clothes that they have on their back. They don't have toothbrushes, they don't have toys, and then you start realizing, wait a minute, I don't have dishes, I don't have furniture anymore. I don't have the basic essentials that I need. And that's, somebody else has that in their storage unit. And why not get that stuff out of you, costing you money, and just sitting there and get it to people that actually need it. So that's one of the things that we teach people to do. I keep saying, we don't care what you trade, we care that you trade. So, you know, it doesn't really matter what that is. And I'm really good at finding whatever that excess is, whether it's in a closet or in a drawer, or if it's future income, or if it's time lost or empty seats, or using it as a marketing tool. Barter is a powerful marketing tool if it's used correctly. So, you know, we're here to help, we're here to educate, we're always open for questions. Again, the email to send those to is socialmedia@instantbarter.com. That's the best place to send me the questions. If you want to know it, other people want to know it, so please feel free to email us the questions. And we even will, the ones that most people want to know, we've even put on our TV show. That's onnowtv.com/1028. So we will put those on the bottom of the screen for you to look at, and those are shorter videos of just some quick snippets of things that you might want to ask or want to know. So we're always here to help and educate.